Hey everyone, I'm here with Nakanakari. Today we are going to build an app for uh, adding orders with multiple items. So the way that it works is the basic relationship between them is one order has many items, and then we are going to show you how to build an app to create these orders and then manage these orders as well. We are going to use a few of the components that you're seeing here, so a few of these blocks, and also we are going to show you how to set a super farm not only to add the information, but also to track your order or to just change it if you want to update your order or even products. So, Fernando, what's the idea of the app today? What's the main problem that we're going to solve?
Yeah, like I said, the idea behind the app is that we're going to build a way for people to create new orders. So maybe you have to send something to a different like branch of your company, or maybe someone has made a purchase through like text, and you have to have a way to track this order and make sure that it arrives properly. So the idea here is to create an app in which you can create this order, but also have multiple items assigned to this order. So, for example, you can look here at the screen, and you can see that we have the order number like number one, and you can see at the table on the right side that we have two lines here. So for the order number one, we have like two backpacks and one jacket. I can also click on here to filter everything. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail later on the structure itself. So this is a very common use case that there aren't many no-code platforms in which you can do this, which is create this relationship in which you can have like multiple items for the same record, at least not in a way that you can like add them at the same time and have additional information. As you can see here, we have like the item, but we also have quantity, and we also have a subtotal for that line, that item line.
This is
So
pretty common when people use spreadsheets or this kind of structures where you cannot connect the data, and then you need to do a few automations and try to create like a fake connection between them. Here is a, as you said, like it's a relational database, so it's actually connecting one record with n other records there.
exactly. So I'm going to show it in action because I think that it's going to be a little bit easier to understand. So I'm going to click on new order, and this is going to call the super form. So we're going to go with like order number 4. Estimated date of arrival, it's next week. Address, I'm going to put anything here. This is a address field, so it's connected to Google Maps. So let's see, Avenue, I don't know, so Avenue of the Giants in California. And you can see here that I put in the information for the record, for the order itself, and now I can start adding items. So I can select a product, so for example, notebook, and I can put in 3, and then I can add one more item. So this is the part that's not very common in other platforms, right? The ability to add multiple items, like as many as I want, to the order. So I can come back here, backpack, 1, and then if I click on submit, this is going to create the order itself, and you guys are going to see here. So here it is. It's in a different order here because I'm ordering this list by date for the estimated date of time of arrival. And you can see here that we just created the items for that order, right? So when I click here on the order that I've just created, here's the information. There's this automatic checklist of things to do. So every order is going to have this step-by-step process in which I have to separate items, package the order, and then ship the order. So I can just click on here, items separated. I can move the status to in preparation. And if I wanted to, I could add more items. So if I wanted to, I could just click on here, and this calls on the block that lets me add more items to this order. So for example, I can now add one jacket to this order. So let's click on save. There you go. So if I close now, you can see that the jacket was added to the order number 4. And you can see the checklist here that it's 1/3 completed. So this is the idea for this main part of the app. You can also see that we have the filters on the top part of the app. So I can select only orders that are in preparation, or maybe just new orders. I can select a specific order. So if I want to see something regarding order number 4, I can just click on it. Of course, it's way easier to just use the button that we've created here, but you also have the option to use the filter on the title bar. You can select for a specific product. So for example, I can click on notebook and see all the times that we have notebook. And you can also filter by estimated time of arrival. So if I want to see things that I have to ship next week, I can just select here, and it's going to filter this part of the component, right? So the other part, before we start talking about structure, is the product catalog. So if I click on this, we have like just a catalog of products. I can see each product here on its in alphabetical order. So I have all the products. I can filter by tag. So we only have 2 for this example, which is fashion and office. You can see here. So if I click on office, it's going to filter the list, so it's a little bit easier to search for stuff. And I can always like create a new product by clicking here on new product. And I can also check on information for that specific product just by clicking on it on the list. So here you go. This is all the information. Okay, so let's talk about structure. How does this template work? So let's go to, we have 3 parts here: order items, and the catalog, which is also this table. So I'm going to explain a little bit about why do we have like 3 different tables. So if you think about it, 2 of them are really simple. So we have orders, which is the order itself. So if I want to create a card for the order, I have to have a database for the orders. So let's just open here. And also products is very intuitive, right? So you see here on the screen orders. So we have the title of the order, the status, address, checklist, and so on. I'm going to talk a little bit about the structure later. We have the product catalog. So this is the database for the products. I have a title for the product. I have a price for the product. I have an image for the product. The description, which is a rich text field. And also we have tags. So this is also very intuitive. But now we have a third table, which is order items. And this is where most people don't know how to build these structures to do like multiple items. So usually what people will try to do is come here to the orders table and create a multiple connection field. So I want to come here to the order, and on the same field, inside the same field, I want to like add as many products as I want. And usually people do this because this is the only way to do stuff in other no-code platforms. So the idea is that here in this table, I will have a field here in which I could select products and add like jacket, backpack, notebooks, and so on. So the problem with that is that one, this is not a scalable structure. So the idea behind the structure that we built is that it could hold like as many items as you wanted to without interfering with the usability of the app itself. You can see how if you had one field and you had like 12 different items, it would severely hamper the way that you use the platform. But also, you lose the ability to add information to each item. And what I mean by that is that if we only had one field here in which we selected each product, you wouldn't be able to say, okay, so for this order, I need 2 jackets and 3 backpacks and 5 notebooks and so on. You lose the information, the additional information for each item. So that's why that's the wrong way
And
to
you lose
do.
the power to add automations as well. Not only is worse for you in terms of data, because then you cannot do like charts or formulas and so on, but you also will lose the ability to add automations, filtering by connected records or for specific products, or maybe for rules. Maybe you want to connect this with inventory app as well. So once you have like 10 units and you sold uh, 9, now you know that you only have one. That's only possible because you go and connect this kind of information, not only type them like one t-shirt or and 2 socks or something. So
Exactly.
it's a simple data connection here, but it's pretty useful and it's essential for this app to work as expected.
Exactly. So if we had just a multiple connection field, what we would lose is, let's suppose I wanted to have a chart for most sold products. I wouldn't be able to do that because the data is not structured in a way in which I could do a graph, for example. Or if I wanted to like notice the customer that a specific item is missing, and I wanted to have an automation button that sent an email that said this specific item is sold out. We're not going to send it to you. So you would not be able to do that. But if you look at the structure that we've built now, you can. So the structure is a table for order items. So there's a connection to the order and there's a connection to the product. So maybe so what I have here is a auxiliary table in which I connect order to product. Then I also add the other fields that let me put in additional information. So I connect order to product, and then I specify a quantity, and then I can also have, like, for example, a formula field in which I do quantity times the price of the product, which is this field. So because the information is connected, I can do this sort of like operation, and that's the idea. So if you look at this table, you can see that it's very easy for me to like create a chart that's a pie chart that's like most sold products, and then you use the product column. Or if I wanted to have like a button with an automation that is like tell customer that this is sold out. So it would be very easy to do. So this is why you do this sort of structure. So let's just talk a little bit about the orders table, the orders database, and then we're going to go to building the interface of the app, which is a little bit more straightforward. So for the orders, we have like a title field. So item 1, 2, order 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. We have a status field. So let me switch builder mode on. We have a status field, which is a single option field. So you can only have one status for each order. So it's never like done and cancel at the same time. So this is why you use a single option in which we have requested, in preparation, done, and canceled for the statuses. We have the address field, and if I click on edit, you can see that this is a field of the type address, and it's connected to Google Maps. So you don't have to type all of the address. This is going to automatically call Google's API, and it's going to search for the address for you, and all you have to do is click. So we have a checklist, and if I click on edit, you can see that it's basically a to-do list with the same tasks each time. So whenever I create an order, it's already going to have created items separated, orders packaged, and packaged shipped. We could also add a new task here. If it's something that you do every time you have an order, you could also change this. We have estimated time of arrival. This is a simple date field, not much to talk about here. And now we have three things that are a little bit more complex, a little bit more like technical. First of all, we have a formula field, which is basically creating a customized link for the app. And then we have a link button, which is going to open the link in the formula. So basically, we have other live streams in which we talk a little bit about this, but I can summarize it when we get to the app, because I will have to change it, so it's going to be practical as well. But basically, the idea here is that when I click on filter items, it's going to open this link and it's going to change the filter of the app, so we only see things regarding that specific order. And we have a simple checkbox field here, which is basically used to hide the part of the form in which you add multiple items. So this part here. So if we open here, you have this part. So if I click on add more items, it's going to allow me to add more items. So this checkbox is here merely to hide this stuff, right? Okay, so this is all the structure knowledge that we're going to need for now. So let's create the app. I'm going to switch on builder mode, and we're going to start with this order app. So let's add a new blank app page. There you go. And first part that I'm going to do is create a list view. There you go. So it created a list view with example information. So I'm just going to resize it, and I'm going to change the settings. So which table is the list view going to be pulling data from? It's the orders table that I've just shown you guys. I'm going to sort by, I can sort by many fields here, but I'm going to go with estimated time of arrival. So we always see things that we have to ship first on top. So it's going to be the same thing. And for this part, list fields, it's the information that you're going to be seeing on the cover, which is this left part. So I want to see an image, I want to see some other thing. So I want to see the image on the leftmost part. There's no image, sorry. So I want to see, I don't know what I put there, but let's go with estimated time of arrival, the checklist, and the status. And also, I'm going to add the button that filters the information. So there you go. Just let's change some of the information here. Let's click on save. So here is the component just like we had on the other one. So I'm just going to change the title here and add an icon. So for the icon, it's going to be a box. Okay, let's click on save. So for the app, we had the orders, a list view on the left side, and on the right part, we had a table with the items inside that order. So let's click on edit and let's create a table. So this is a table component, right? It's pulling information from one of the databases, from one of the tables we already have in Jastor. So this is going to be items, and it's going to pull information from order items. There you go. Okay, so what fields do we want to see here? Which what sort of information I want to see here? So we're going to select it, and it's going to be order, product, quantity, subtotal, and delete. You can see that it already previews here, so it's easy to see what I'm doing to the table. And there's all sorts of customization, style, and so on here. So we're going to sort by order. So this is going to ensure that we always see things grouped, right? So items for the same order are next to each other. I'm going to go with descending, so newer orders are on top. Let's see, there's some other information. I don't want to add new items from the table, so I'm going to leave that off. Field icons basically is this part in the header in which we can see the type of field, so I'm going to switch that off. I don't think it's necessary, so there you go. Grid line, I also like to turn that off, and show border, I'm going to turn it off so you can see how it's changing the appearance from what I'm doing here. So let's create it. And now we're just going to resize it. There you go. We're going to put it here. Okay, so this is read-only, so I cannot change it. I can delete it. But now we have one problem, which is for the orders, if I click here, it's going to call the standard window, the standard panel of Gesture, right? So this is not exactly a problem, but I want for stuff to be more customized, for the interface to be a little bit different here. So what we're going to do now is create a new app with the super forms that we want in that component. So super forms are not just external forms. They're not only used to create things inside Gesture, like an application form or something like this. Superforms are the best way for you to customize the interface of records inside Gesture. So if you want to add new information, if you want to update information, if you just want something a little bit prettier to read the information on, you use Superforms to customize the component itself. So I'm going to call this order forms live, and we're going to create the first superform. There you go. So this is the form for adding a form, an order, right? So we're going to call this add order. I'm going to remove the logo and the cover. It would be like this if I left it on, but I can just delete it. And first thing that I have to do here is this is a form for creating an order. So it's going to add information to the table orders. So I'm just going to select orders here, and now I can start selecting the fields. So for the first field, it's title, which I think I forgot about changing it. It's, let's see here, it's the estimated time of arrival, the address. I don't want the checklist because there's no need to like check the to-dos before creating the order. And that's it. So let's just customize it a little bit further. I'm going to add an inline block. So title and estimated time of arrival, they're both on the same row here. And now, because we have that connected structure in which we have that auxiliary table for order items, I can come here to form block and add a connected table block. And this is going to allow me to create at the same time records on that auxiliary table. So I can select here connected table, order items, it automatically detects the tables that are connected to this one. And all we have to do is select product and quantity. So let's save. I think there is no need for conditionals. We don't want responses. And let's just change the color here. There you go. So this is the form for creating an order. Now we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to copy it. So I just cloned the form and we're going to edit it. And this is going to be for the order info. So this is the form that I'm going to be using whenever I have to like click on the list and see things from the order, right? So this is a little bit different So it's going to be almost all the same information: title, estimated time of arrival, address, but I'm going to change one thing, a couple of things actually. I'm going to show the checklist of things we have to do, right? So just here below the address. And also, I'm going to add that add more items field, which is a checkbox. And now I'm going to use this one as a conditional for the add items part. So let's click on form conditionals, and we're going to set it so the add items block is only showing if the add more items checkbox is true. Okay, so let's save. And one important thing as well, I'm going to go back to add more items, the checkbox. I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to leave a predefined value of off. So whenever I open the form, the checkbox is going to be off. So this means that whenever I open an order, this is going to be unchecked, and this means that the add items part is going to be hidden, right? So let's save. And you can see here that it's working as intended. So the only thing that I have to change here is that this is not a form for creating new orders, right? It's a form for checking on an existing order information. So I'm going to click on update record here. So this is a form for updating or checking stuff that already exists. So you can see here that if I selected a record that already existed, I can see all the information, right? One thing that I forgot to do, I'm going to go back to the one that creates stuff, and I'm going to add the status, this part here, and I'm going to change the field so it's always pre-selected as requested, but it's also hidden, right? So this means that whenever I create a new order, it's going to go straight into requested. It's going to go to the first stage directly. Okay, so now we can go back to the app that we had built. Oh, here it is. And now we can do a couple of things. First, I'm going to create a title bar, which is this part on the top, right? I'm going to select a color like a dark blue, and I'm going to have a button to create new orders. So I have a button that creates new orders. It's going to be white, create order. So if I click on save here, and I click on create order, it's going to bring out the standard panel of Gesture. This is not what I want right now. I want to use the super form that I just created. So I'm going to click on edit. And for record creation form, I'm going to disable the standard panel, and I'm going to fetch the form that I've just created from the app that I've just built. So it's here, order form is live. I'm going to select the add order form. I can select some customization stuff. So it's going to open as a big card on the center of the screen. And I can click on save. There you go. So now if I click on it, here you go. It's the standard form that I just created. So what's missing here are the filters. So I'm going to click on edit, and I'm going to create filters. So the first filter is going to be status. So let's select the color here. And the type of filter is going to be select from fields, because the status are information from a field in the orders table, right? So I'm going to select something from the orders table from the field status. And as soon as I select it, I'm going to filter the list view by status. let's go with now, I don't remember the ones that I built. Let's go with estimated time of arrival. It's going to be a date range. So if I want to see only things that I have to ship, like for the following week, I can select dates and filter the orders by estimated time of arrival. So let's edit. So yeah, now we're going to select order, and I'm going to be, I'll set it up so I'm able to select in order from the orders table. So I have to use the record ID option for that. Select some record from the orders table. And as soon as I do that, it's going to filter the list view by the order itself. And it's going to select the items, the items of the order by the order. And I'm going to do the same thing for product. And this is the last one. So record ID from the product catalog. And as soon as I select a product, it's going to go to items. It's going to filter the item and the product that I've just selected. Okay, so let's add, let's shape it, customize it, and let's create. There you go. So it's down here, but what I can do now is just click on the title bar. And down here, select the filter that I've just created. So when I click on save, there you go. So I can select a status, requested, for example. There you go. So now I'm going to create a new page for this app, which is the product catalog. There you go. So it's going to be a list view as well. So I'm going to search for list. This list is going to see things from the product catalog. It's going to sort it alphabetically. And the things that I want to see here on the cover are the image, the price, and the tags. There you go. So here you go. Now let's create a title bar. And the same color. It's going to be able to create a product. Button is going to be white. There you go. And now we're going to create a filter. So filter. And the only filter that I'm going to have here is for tags. So here we go. It's going to be select from field. From the products table, the field is going to be tags. And as soon as I select the tag, it's going to filter the list view by tag. So let's add, let's create. And it's down here, but I can just edit the title bar. And down here, I can select the filter that I've just created. And there you go. So I can also just come back here and edit. So now let's go back to the other app. I'm just going to select an icon here. So let's go back to the other app page. And now we're going to bring this all together into a single app, right? So for that, I'm going to use a menu bar. I'm going to customize the colors right here So the top is the same color as the title bar. Here you go. And the bottom part is, I don't know, just light gray. And this app is going to have the orders, but also the catalog that I've just created. So I'm going to click on save. There you go. So if I switch off the builder mode, I can already see how the end user is going to be seeing the app, right? So it's working just as intended. I click on this, and it brings. Oh, I forgot to edit this list view so it has the same form that I created before. So let's come here, disable the standard panel, get information from the order forms that I've just created, and it's going to see this one, and I can just customize it. Let's click on save. There you go. So now when I click on it, there you go. So one thing that I haven't done yet, but I'm not going to do it right now because so the live stream doesn't go on for too long because it's the same process. You can see here on the catalog that if I click on new product, it brings the standard model. If I click on the list, it brings the standard model. All we would have to do is create forms, super forms for those. So I've created beforehand. So this is the app page that I had. So I can just click on edit. And I'm going to disable standard table rules, select from the product forms, the new product form here. So let's see, wider center card. And the same thing for the list view. So I'm going to disable the standard model and use the form that I created before. There you go. So you can see here that if I click on new product now, it's going to use the super form that I created. I didn't create on the live stream just to save time, but I had created beforehand. So you can always change the way that you're going to interact with a record through super forms, so in components and so on. So the last part that I want to do is if I disable builder mode right now and I go back here to the orders app. Now, if I click on filter items, I don't know if you guys noticed, but it brought me to the other app that I've showed before. That's because the button is linked to a destination that is the other app. So I'm just going to change that. I'm going to go back to this part. I'm going to get the ID of this app that I've just built, which I can get from the URL, or if I switch the builder mode on, I can get from this part here. If I go back, yeah, it's on the URL. Okay, so let's go back to the orders part, edit this formula, and I'm going to change the app that I'm going to open. So we have this on our documentation, I think, but we had other live streams about this. So basically this formula is sending me to that app, so slash app slash the app ID, and then I'm passing parameters that are going to automatically filter the filter that I created before. So filter, order, and the ID of the order. So I'm just going to click on save, and now I can go back to the orders app, and if I click on it, it should work now. So let's click on number 4, which is this one, and there you go. So it filtered this app specifically. So there you go. This is all we had to do to copy the template that we built before. So now you have an app for creating orders with multiple items. You have the power to add more items if you had to, but you can just use the checklist here to do all the steps and ensure that that everything is going as intended. Don't know if you have anything else to say.
Yeah, it's just important to remember that this is one way to solve this problem. We could do maybe other 10 or more lives just building this process of order management. This is nice because you can see orders and items at the same time. But there are other structures that you could also use, and you could expand this to inventory or even to generate a PDF of the order and automatically send to your client, and so on. There are lots of options here to expand this template. We will also make this template available for all of you guys. So if you have any questions, just send to us through email or comment on this video. And next week we'll come with another video. I will try to bring examples that you guys are asking for. So have any kind of suggestions, just send and we will prepare a special template for all of you. See you. Bye bye.
Right.